stop overthinking and just start taking action and moving towards the things that you want to be doing. This is one of the key things that is important when we want to create and manifest and build and craft our dream lives. If you're waiting, if you're stuck, and if you're overthinking it and you're trying to get the plan perfect and you're trying to weigh all the options of all the decisions that you could potentially make and which way is the best way, your way is the right way. Your way, the way that you ultimately choose, no matter what you end up choosing, what pathway, it's the right way. And the sooner that you start moving forward, the sooner you will begin to realize that it doesn't really matter, because no matter what way you go, no matter how perfectly you've planned everything and tried to account for everything, you're going to make mistakes along the way. In hindsight, you're going to be like, oh, I probably should have done this instead. And there's just no way to avoid that. And so what happens when we overthink and we like sit in a decision paralyzation, all we're doing is delaying our dream lives from becoming a thing. Like that's all we're doing. Like all we're doing is sitting in one spot where we could have taken messy action. You've probably heard that term. We probably could have been taking messy action and been way more ahead of where we are now. But because we were like paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong choice or not doing it right or not choosing the right thing, now we're still where we were like a year ago or 2 years ago or even 5 years ago or 10, whatever, depending on how old you are and what your specific life path looks like. So today's message is really about just start moving forward, taking the action. Like, let this video be an opportunity. Actually, let's just do it right now, okay? Why not? So pause this video and go get either your phone to take notes, like type on your phone notes, type on your computer, or like if you like writing, which writing I feel like has its own kind of like energetic signature. Like when you physically write things, I feel like it just anchors the energy down easier into the physical world, because the digital world is virtual, but when you're writing on paper, it's physical already, and it's like you're already pulling the energy down. So anyway, pause and like get what you need. Okay, perfect. Welcome back. So what we're gonna do first is at the top of the page, you're going to think about what it is that you want to see the most in your life right now. So what is your like top priority goal? What is the thing that you're most excited? Like if a genie came by today and the genie was like, hey, like I'm going to grant you one wish and it's going to be whatever you want. What would be the scenario or the situation that you materialize into your world first? You can pause this video. I guess I don't have to give you a sec. And now you're going to look at that and just off the top of your head, think of 3 steps that you could take towards that thing. It could be anything, like just off the top of your head when you think about achieving that goal, like next steps that don't really rely on anything else to be done, but things that you could like theoretically do like in this moment. Okay, write those down. Okay, great. So now what you have is 3 action steps. We're not going to go into an analysis paralysis of whether these specific action steps that we just like came up in this moment are the best moves or like the most efficient moves or like any of that. It's just about seeing that there are things that you could be doing immediately. I promise you that if you actually do them and just start moving forward and implementing these actions towards your dream life or your goals into your day-to-day routines and schedules, your life, it has no choice but to change in that desired direction. So when you're thinking of making a decision, you're essentially like selecting the timeline. When you're vision boarding or imagining, you're selecting the timeline. But this timeline doesn't start solidifying until you actually start taking action and making movements in the physical world. Like if you want to change the physical world, you have to work at the level of the physical world. And so the desired timeline is not going to be solidified until you start making solid physical life movements. Making movements in the physical world is way more efficient, no matter what they are. That is way more efficient and will get you to where you want to be faster because you're learning and growing and experiencing. And with every action that you take, you learn more about the chosen pathway that you're walking on. When you're sitting still, you don't know what you don't know. For example, if you wanted to start a YouTube channel, you can do so much research just sitting in your bed or sitting at home, watch other people's experiences, read about other people talking about it, but you won't know what that is actually like to make videos, what you're good at in regards to that field, what you're bad at. You won't know that until you actually start taking action and doing the thing. And like when you do, you just learn faster. It's honestly a faster path. And the only thing that could ever hold you back from taking action is self-care. Because this is like the conversation around burnout culture, right? I feel like a lot of people, they hear this message and they're like, okay, gotta take action. Now let's just take action at any expense. But no, we are a human being. We have a physical body and we need to take care of that physical body first. Like, okay, if our body is an instrument and we are wanting to play music with the instrument, we're wanting to materialize the things of our dreams. If you don't take care of the instrument, it has no choice but to make bad music, right? And so that was like a huge lesson for me over the past 5 years. I have all these ambitions and goals and everything, but no matter how much action I took, I couldn't sustain it because I'd be like, okay, I need to take action, let me just do stuff. But then I wasn't eating properly, I wasn't sleeping properly, I didn't have any sort of movement or exercise or workout practice. And so I was doing things and creating things, but it just wasn't sustainable because my body would like shut down after a few weeks of that consistent action taking. And then I would just burn out and I would stop everything. And then all the momentum that I had been working hard to build up over those past few weeks or months, it was just like poof, gone. And I was stuck in this loop for years, like literally like the past, I feel like I just exited this loop like 2 months ago. Insane. So I'm telling you, please trust me, like take it from my own experience. Take action, like just start moving and doing things and like create space in your everyday routine to take messy action towards the things that you care the most about right now, the things that you yearn for the most deeply. But make sure that part of your action taking should also be around making sure you're feeding yourself properly, making sure you have the exercise plan that works for you, whether it's high impact or low impact, that's up to you and your body to decide. But just making sure that you have that base level self-care down so that when you do start building up consistency and momentum with the actions that you're taking, you won't have a moment a few weeks or a few months from now where you're like, oh shit, like I can't do this anymore, and then drop everything. It's so you have that in order, and so you can build up the momentum and then you can keep building it up. Okay? That's it. That's the message for today. Yeah, go look at that list again. Just remember that if you really want the thing that you say that you want, there should be a part of you that is excited to start taking those steps. If you don't feel any sort of excitement or draw towards it, perhaps you don't actually want the thing that you think you want. The thing that you want is not enough of a motivation for you to start taking the uncomfortable actions. And if you feel like that's a true thing for you, what I would suggest is reflect on what it is that you think that you want. Think about where that desire might have come from. You could even do a mind map, just like put the desire in the middle of the page and then just like brain dump any associated thoughts, people, concepts, places, like any thoughts that come up when you think about that desire, mind map it, and that'll give you a better idea of where that desire came from. If it's a desire that's coming from within, it's like glowing from within you and like really desiring to be like expanded out of you into the world. You can feel that. I often feel that in my like heart space and like my middle chest area. Or if it's like if the desire is coming from the outside in, it's like coming from external pressures or expectations or people pleasing or something like insecurity. Like just you have the ability to feel into the energy, the source energy of your desires. If the source energy of your desire is not something that you enjoy feeling, it's going to be really hard to find the motivation to take the messy, uncomfortable action and to actually do those things on the day-to-day basis that will get you to where you want to be. It'll be really hard to be consistent because the deeper part of you doesn't actually want the thing, okay? Because that thing is associated with an energy that you don't enjoy feeling and being in. So make sure that your actual desire is something that you actually want. So yes. Now that's it. I guess I had more to say. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I love you. By the way, this is my tree. I've been chilling here pretty much every day on the weekdays. It's a really old tree. I think it's the oldest tree on our property. It's an oak tree. That really helps too, by the way. Like in herbalism, or in like the herbalism communities that I'm in, we talk about it as a sit spot in nature. So a sit spot is a spot that you continuously return to in nature. And over the years, like you build a relationship with that spot and with the tree around, if you're sitting at a tree or if you're sitting at a rock, then with the rock, like whatever is the natural component around you, you begin to develop a relationship with it. You become friends with the thing. Like obviously they're not talking to you in like the way that another human would, but you end up sharing experiences, right? Because every time you go to the sit spot, you experience something, whether you're experiencing clarity or peace, or like me right now, I'm like making this video that I feel really good about making a video here. You start creating these positive memory associations with that spot. And then when you have a off day or you're feeling heavy, you've built up so much like positive association. So that spot then becomes a tool for you to use to help you get out of that off feeling, because you come into a space where the energy that you've curated over the time that you've like repeatedly visited that spot, it is such a beautiful energy, and it just makes it really hard to not feel good and not have that energy infiltrate you and your field, and then amplify with that with the vibes of nature and the peace of nature. And it's just like such an amazing tool that I have been heavily relying on in my life at this point. Okay, that's what I'll leave you on. Thank you so much for watching again. I feel like I've said thank you 3 times. I love you. See you soon.